Hi everyone, and welcome back to the imposing sight of the Crucible, deep inside the burning wastes of Giant Hold. As promised, we're going to do our best to assault this monster in a little while. But first, let's give you an idea of where we're at and some of the observations along the way. We came through Mistrana reasonably well, with the predictable result of not too much by way of loot. I did pick up one interesting little thing in line with what my strategy is going to be for these roguey skills going forward, because we're going to need, as we're not a pure rogue, I think, and we don't have intelligence, more to the point, for the main stat. We're going to need an awful lot of help cheating, swapping things in to try and do anything on the trap side, I think. So I've taken the liberty of preparing a couple of items, Kenneth crafted items for that, which should hopefully cover most situations. But I really don't know whether it's going to be, I guess the proof will be in the pudding, whether it's going to be worthwhile, whether I should just leave it alone altogether. It would be a shame to lose it because it's been fun to have it, but we'll see. Broadly speaking, in Mistrana, I was finding all the boxes, and unless I rolled like a 1 or a 2, which was a fail, I was managing to disable them all, and I never did a critical fail, so it's still broadly positive, but heroic isn't legendary gameplay, is it? So I think everybody knows there's a big step up, but something like this, I mean, granted it's only for open lock, it's just there more for the example. That's, what is that? It's a heroic item, so it would have a legendary equivalent, and that would give 10, 17 on open lock. Plus we could have a standard open lock item, couldn't we? Which could go up to, what, 22 now, I think. So there are things you can do to drastically boost the chances. I mean, locks I'm not too fussed about because I don't think there are too many with very high DCs. Locks and finding secret doors, I think we'll be able to get to that just fine. It's the finding of the boxes and the disabling of said boxes that worries me more. And I'm going to try and push the boat out a bit. One of the things we'll try and use is that belt. If anybody saw the Trickster life we did, we were trying to boost up disable device for our spellcasting DCs. And there was is it a skullduggery kit belt from the Beholder optional, or at least that's where I found it, in the Mirror quest in Wayloon. Very easy farm that is if you happen to be looking for one, because that chest is guaranteed to drop a piece of named loot every time. And I don't think there are too many different ones that drop in it. But I've mentioned that because that's a 6 exceptional bonus on the thiefy skills. So that would stack with everything else. That's our future anyway. Let's talk more about the gear that we've actually put on. So I mentioned we were going to put the 3-piece Shan, and I mentioned also this for the true seeing. That's part of the 3-piece Shan, the family set. True seeing, armor piercing, deadly for damage, and the relentless fury that we had on before. You'll notice I've sneaked in a topaz of electric resistance. We finally got something akin to reasonable defenses on the 3 main ones: acid, electric, and fire. Not too soon, eh? I resisted the temptation to put on the season's greaves from Mithrana. I think we've got some elemental defenses there, and here we've got physical defenses, so we've got a good combination there. We have lost the Ring of Baphomet. I thought this was too good an item not to slot. It's giving us sneak attack damage there, and every time things are hit by that raw, we're getting sneak attack chances against them, so it's a big deal now. So we do need that. Dodge as well is very nice to have on there, and I sneaked in a diamond of strength because the strength was on the Ring of Baphomet. So we're in a good place now with the strength. I think that goes to about 50 in Reaper now. Dodge is Oh, look, 18. So 24. We're approaching the cap actually in Reaper, which is lovely. As mentioned, I've stayed in cloth armor specifically to get that nice line of extra defense. Reflex save, I think that goes to a 32 in Reaper, so not too bad. So that's the armor, the cloth armor. We've got some nice fort and healing amp. So finally we're nearing 100 fort on the gear, which we could have had ages ago with one of those Sapphire of Heavy fort. Very nice item available from level 8 if you didn't know. You'll see there we've kept up the investment in the trip. Got the Sapphire of Vertigo in there. I noticed the Giant Hold vendors don't sell that, so I had to go to Jurasco, to the Blue Tavern, I think it is in Jurasco, to the Randall Lyric vendor there to get one of those. False Life on that one is good too. And the other one, I've put the other augment in, Sapphire of Stunning 7. Insightful Deadly on there I don't think is relevant because our trans counts as Insightful Deadly. Insightful Double Strike is nice though, as is the Canith Combat Infusion. 4 alchemical bonus to Strength, Con and Dex. And an extra chance to double strike. Yes please, all that sounds very tasty. So we're gonna keep that set all the way to the legendary cap, I guess now. Otherwise, I've rejigged the 2-piece Vulcors set, so we've put the Gem of Many Facets on there now. There's actually an empty yellow slot there, but I haven't seen fit to put. I could have put a cold augment in there, couldn't I? A cold resistance thing, rather. And then the bracers. I don't think we've added anything else, have we, apart from the 3 pieces? And just a bit of a rejig. Oh, I added a strength sun augment in there. Every little bit helps. And the fire resistance, I think, was already there. And we finally bitten the bullet and changed to a kukri slashing damage instead of the dagger, the piercing dagger that we had, because we finally acquired the improved critical slashing at 15. I think that's about it. I mean, it was about time to change the weapon because we don't have anything protecting the durability, and this one has twice, actually more than twice, the durability of that little level 4 thing. But fair play to it. Sky Pirate's Dagger, I definitely recommend that at low level. It's found in the 3-Barrel Cove Wilderness, if memory serves. Right, what else do we have noted here? Yeah, one of the misses I noticed, I mean, there's plenty of good stuff in this tree. That's what prompted me to try and make something nice around the key features, notably the 20% helpless and the 1 crit threat range with the Dwarven War Axe. But the one big miss, as far as our goals of our build are concerned, it doesn't have the tactics, which I'm sure the standard dwarf tree can have 3 on tactics, which would have been lovely. Instead, we get this that, yeah. I would happily get rid of that and bring the tactic thing back. Not overly impressed. I do notice that at least where these kinds of things are thrown in, they're now only costing 1 point, whereas in a lot of the other earlier overpriced trees, it costs you 2 points, so 6 for the full set, for what is a pretty meager upgrade at best. So it would be nice in the fullness of time if they would equalize all that out, do a bit of a racial pass and get things on more of an even keel, instead of what typically happens. The new races are brought out very competitive, you know, in terms of what you get for the points invested, and the old ones are left somewhat leaving a lot to be desired. So, as we're in the enhancements, you can see we've pushed further on into the Vistani. I'll say again, this is just for leveling. We're going to have a shake-up when we get to the cap because of the way the whole thing works, and we only get the two-handed speciality at 31. It makes sense, I think, to use Vistani to level, use a kukri, and then change to the axe when we get to the cap and take all the nice stuff out of here. Then this obviously would be useless to us at the moment in Vistani. It's to deal with hammers and axes and that kind of stuff. What else have I got in here? No, that's pretty much it. We've just been motoring on up there. So I noticed the first time I did anything with a Dragon Lord that you can, it's one of the few, maybe the only wings type ability that you can actually use while mounted. So I know it's a bit of a niche use, but sometimes it comes in for jumping over lava fields in Giant Hold or over pits and that kind of thing. It's just nice to know about. I think everything else, whether it's an offensive thing like Spring Attack or something like the Exalted Angel wings or the Monk wings, I think everything else would unseat you from the horse. So it's just a bit unique in that sense. The gear we've mentioned. I was wondering, actually, as I was looking at the enhancements, my plan obviously is to end up, I think I mentioned, we obviously keep this as the core of the build, and 20 or so points in the Duergar, because that was the whole aim of the exercise, to do something nice using the Duergar tree, and 20 odd in assassin to get the sneak dice imbue double strike thing. That was the basic plan. I was wondering, because this character only has 3 racial points, what would you do? Where would you put the extra points if you were on a character with, say, 19 or maybe even 20 if you had the Duergar past life as well? Where would you put the extra points? And my thoughts were turning to bolstering the defences. Perhaps, hang on, I've got it here, haven't I? So something like, yeah, we get 10 PRR and MRR for that alone, don't we? 15 more for the one of the choices in there. I forget which one it is that goes up with the stands. I think there's some more max dex bonus there if we needed it. And eventually we'd have a compelling choice there, wouldn't we, between extra... We wouldn't need the extra hit points, would we? The choice would be between extra strength and extra con. So between survivability and tactics and damage, I'd be sorely tempted to go for the extra strength just because our tactics would also benefit from that. So yeah, there could be some really nice things in that tree if we in fact had a load of racial points already to throw in here, meaning that these were effectively free. I think you can definitely spend, well, on the build I've got planned, we can definitely spend, we could spend 20 plus points in here productively. I mean, all of those cores aren't terrible. Attack and damage in these, and a few hit points, and then strength there. You've got the quality hit points for 3 more points. That's a definite good investment, I think. Definitely worth going all the way up here for the helpless damage boost, and all the way up there for the crit threat range extra with the axe. But I mean, all the way up here anyway gets you something like 25 strike through with a dwarven axe, plus the extra bits of hit and damage you pick up. So that's not bad either. The weapon immunity to damage, great stuff. So lots of decent stuff, and I mean that I've just mentioned probably equates to about 25 or so. So it is a nice tree, I think. I guess, as with all things, it depends on what you're trying to do. What else have I got noted here? Yeah, I had a little test because I wasn't sure if you were able to regenerate. You know, I mentioned earlier that you regenerate your trance charges by doing the dragon's roar. Maybe about 1 time in 3 it gives you a charge back. And it's totally possible, like if you're at a bit of a dull point in the quest, or maybe somebody else is shrining and you're waiting for them, or whatever it happens to be, to do a roar without targeting anything and get trance charges back for that. I've tested that and it works just fine. Let's just put that back where it should be. The other thing I mentioned in a previous one about this business of triggering the raw, nothing visual seems to happen on screen, but the opponents are stopped and the effect happens and the cooldown doesn't happen. One of the situations, I'm not saying it's always like that, but one of the situations where I get that issue is when I'm, you know, when you do the enlarged self and it makes a sort of it winds it up, doesn't it, as an animation. A bit like when it triggers a no holds barred, I suppose, as that 3 second animation. It's about the same length of time, isn't it? Except unlike no holds barred, I think there are some things you can't do when you're enlarging self. But there is some kind of a clash with the raw. It allows you to do it while that animation is going, but it doesn't put it on cooldown, nor do you see a visual cue on the screen that it's actually done it. So that's a bit. My suspicion would be there might be 1 or 2 other things as well, that while you're engaging in the animation, and if you happen to press raw at the same time, that's what causes that to not go on cooldown and not display an effect. That's my suspicion. Okay, I think we've waffled on for far too much already, so let's go and get stuck into some crucibling.
Regal, this dragon looks. How base is my reflection in its side.
Right, I'll just give you a quick look at where we're at with the
pain I feel will wash away along with my flesh.
Yeah, with the stats. So we've reached 50 strength, which is great. Con's lagging sadly behind. The save reflex save 32. I mean, it's okay. It's not terrible, but with the swim section in mind, 1 or 2 fails and you can be tested loads of times on those spikes. I'm not good in there at all. It's in the balance, I would say, with that. And same for that section with all the traps when you open the doors. But not terrible. And the dodge, you'll see there, 24 to dodge. That's just lovely at this stage. What else was I going to try and show you? Yeah, the Dragon Roar 68. Now that to me is pretty terrific. We could have got it up to 70. I forgot to give an honourable mention. In fact, we can get it to 70, can't we? We can cheat and just put that in. There we go. Now this is a bit of a spoiler as well, because this is a second item whose legendary version we will definitely be using. You see there the profane combat mastery. I just basically, because I knew we were going to be borderline with these tactics and I so want them to work, or at least if they don't work, I want to know that I tried everything I could to get it to be in our favor. So profane would be another one to stack with the quality on the glasses. 70, by the way, is pretty crazy, isn't it? Not even at the heroic cap. That is going into the realms of the trickster, I think, albeit we've really pushed the boat out to get there. The kick 'em while they're down looks quite interesting on there as well. 5 more attack and damage on enemies knocked down or stunned, and we'll be able to cause both of those. So yeah, that could be a really decent item. I obviously put it in there for the profane combat mastery, but the other elements there could be helpful too. I didn't show where we were with the trip and whatnot, did I? There you go. We got a charge back just for doing the So let's show you where we're at with these. So 61 on the trip, that's not terrible either. And of course the Sunder's lagging a bit behind because I don't have any shatter augment or anything put in there. That's definitely the lesser preference of my on the tactical side, the one I'll less focus on because as mentioned in a previous episode, we're going to have quite a lot anyway of options for bypassing fort, particularly because we're going with the end build into the assassin tree, and we're going to have these useful cores here. 10 fort bypass and the assassin streak for another 25 off, and this, unlike the Sunder, doesn't rely on the thing failing a save to get it. It just takes the minus fort as far as I know, so that's pretty great. Right, let's get on with it. First thing to mention in the Crucible, for the conversational elements out here, this super useful golden guile from the first one in the Lords of Dust chain in the harbour. It drops in that there's an early boss who has a chest. It's on the way. You can't not find it, and this drops reasonably often in that chest. I think we are gonna need the boosts to bluff and diplo on there to have any chance whatsoever with these checks, because let's put the greater heroism for a bit more, because we're pretty bad on those. I haven't invested too much yet. I'll try and do some in the fullness of time. So bluff 34 and diplo 25. It's not looking good, is it? Hopefully these aren't too we're allowed to roll as many as we want though, so let's see if we can. Is that a yeah, happy days. Okay, 17 is a failure. Ooh. Do we try and get higher than that? No, I don't think we do. We'll just say we're gonna fail that one. I don't think he will ever speak to us, will he? No, but you usually do. I don't think there's even a check for that. You just automatically pass it, and then we go back, and I think this is an automatic success as well, this one. Oh, was it? No, it wasn't. There was a roll there, but our bluff happily is a bit higher. So we've got some things done there. I think the main thing that does is that section with the collapsing floors. It gets the, I think some element of that gets the floors to be revealed before you actually get there, so you're not sort of wandering around blindly, or as I've done in the past, just go and try and land, try and land just next to the where the opponents are, and so they must be stood on solid ground, so you know you're not going to fall through the floor, but it can be a pain when the floors aren't revealed. So it's nice to try and do the conversational bit if you can. I don't know if there's extra experience at the end, because it says all 0, doesn't it, for doing those. I think there was once upon a time. I don't know if there is now. Right then, come on. Let's not suck too badly. That was a good example of how far back. Did you see? These guys were quite far removed from the ones at the front, and the dragon breath thing caught them all, so they can be quite far behind. I suppose it's a bit like the burst of glacial, the cone out in front, isn't it? Or maybe color spray, the similar type of reach to that.
The sign reads, Maze of Cunning.
Now, unless some crazy Reaper thing happens, I'm not too worried about the combat stuff itself in here. It's just the finding the path, and if silly things happen, or we get lost, or yeah. I have equipped a slightly better throwing weapon also from the Mythdrana for precisely this situation here. I think we got lucky and got a crit there. So we're supposed to put our hireling here, aren't we? Now, as you all know, I'm somewhat averse to hirelings, but this particular one definitely has my favour. She comes from the, I think it's the collector's edition in the Mythdrana pack, and she's definitely the most useful hireling I've ever come into contact with. She comes with the excellent greater vigor mass, and also if you don't have true sight, as we didn't for a long time, she can cast that on you too. Plus obviously the raise if the worst comes to the worst. We do need to actually open this, don't we? Biggest problem with doing this solo is having them sneak up on and butcher your hireling when you're otherwise engaged. As there, thank you for illustrating. Especially from the upper areas, they tend to do it. So I do try to clean out the targets at the top when I see them relatively near to where the hireling is. Yes, I think the hireling's shooting at something. But I'm not sure. I think you're shooting through a wall there, dearest. Okay, let's target the lever. Valve even. I think this maze is the biggest obstacle to people relatively new to all this. I think if you can get past this, you're well on the way. Reaper, oh my goodness. And I was stuck in the pop-up window as well. Okay, can you please let me back through? Lovely stuff. So we're going to try, or you can reach through this wall and put the socket in if you have it.
Beyond the barred
We
gate,
don't have that one,
a
okay.
crystalline horn rests on a pedestal.
I'm going to try and go over to the other side now. Just pull that one last time. And you can come with me. Yeah, for the longest time, I'd completely given up on this. I'd just get lost or completely stuck on one or other of the challenges. And the toughest one was this. I just would get completely... One of the real pains is the opponents killing the hireling, as I mentioned. So I do try and clear everything up before we commit to going in one of the side rooms, if we can. Don't see anything there. Oh, we do now. Okay, I think we're gonna risk it. But this is the biggest stumbling block, at least for me. See if I get stuck in there and the hireling dies, there's nothing I can do. I can't get out because the hireling has to pull the lever for me. So we try our best. Oh, not again, please. We're on a timer here, Mr. Reaper. Can you let me out now? I think we have cracked it, have we? That is just lovely. Well done, you. Okay, let's go back over to the other side. Come with me if you will. throw me a healing if you don't mind. I think we just pull that once and then we go, don't we? I think you can stay there if you don't mind, out of the way of the traps and stuff. Let's just detect these. Now let's not forget, as soon as we grab the horn, the floor's going to collapse, isn't it? Oh, do you mind? So target it, and then we just jump and press interact with, and we don't fall down the hole. And I'd like to believe that that concludes that area for us. Okay, lovely stuff. I don't know what the hireling's doing though. Seems to have
The gilded dragon
got
head
lost.
next to the door has a hole where its horn used to belong. Strong currents tug at your feet as you step into the water.
Oops. Talk about blundering into the middle of... Okay, now this is another section where we really should have everything in here to be successful. Evasion, and we've got a good jump without us being strength based as well. Oh my god. Okay, it's on a timer, so I'm going to wait it out and reset it. Why did I say that? Why did I mention the word success? Or do we have to... I think we have to wait until it... Is it reset now? Okay. I don't know if our jump is max, but I think it's close to it. Our little zoom is very nice to have as well, our flight of kings there.
The horn of agility rests here, apparently unguarded.
So we didn't take too much damage. Failed on a 6, that's interesting. So yeah, the swim could be ominous given that. But I'm going to try and show you a little thing you can do to mitigate some of that. If you happen to have this particular hireling with you. So everything's revealed.
This hallway has collapsed. The broken bodies of several orcs lie below.
Okay, now annoyingly the hireling often tries to come wandering forward away from the place where I've put them. Even if I put them on passive, I think this happens. All we're going to try and do is keep opening the same door, but from such an angle that we are not getting blasted by all the traps. Oh god. So our save is really like 25% of the time we're failing, aren't we? So it's really not that great. So literally open door and get the hell out of there to minimize the number of hits we take. Okay, we got lucky there. Right, I guess the curse of butterflies on the armor will help us here with the feather fall. We definitely want that in this situation. Let's try and eliminate these characters first. Got to be well. Definitely have freedom of movement because they can cast Sleet Storm, which is an oof. It's a nightmare on these little things. Oh, don't be doing that. Much easier in here, of course, if you're ranged. Or should I have said the game is much easier in general if you're ranged? There is that too. Yeah, there are plenty of instances of which this is one, where the fact that you have to actually go in the face of the opponent to get rid of it is a problem. Okay.
You approach a bank of 7 signal crystals above a lever.
So no green, 2 red, 4 blue.
As the puzzle wheel clicks into place, a loud gear
Hands up who had money on me using that wings boost and ending up down on the floor with egg on face. I think I would have probably put money on that. Okay, so far so good. See, it happened there. No cooldown, no animation, but the effect has certainly gone off. And that's because I was in the middle of the enlarge animation. So it is somewhat abusable, that, because this has a cooldown of 20 seconds, that 15 or 20, so you could always precede the raw by that and have 2 raws for the price of 1, I suppose. Are we at the swim already? Crikey, we are. Right, I'm going to show you my little dodge because I know those spikes are going to cut us to pieces. So with this hireling, I don't know if you know, I know some of you do because I've seen it done in raid groups messing about waiting for people at the start. You see how when we repeatedly cast this greater vigor mass, the timing extends. We're up over 30 seconds now. So we can get it, if we get it to about 2 minutes, we can go and do the swim, and hopefully every time we take damage from the spikes, as long as we don't get absolutely cut to pieces, the greater vigor thing will heal us, and so we won't suffer from the fact we can't trigger our second wind underwater. At least I don't think we can. I stand to be corrected. It's a heal effect, so I'd be pretty surprised if we can. Maybe we can test that when we're down there. Okay, let's go for it.
The rush of swift
So I'm
water
expecting a
enters
raft of
the
failed saves, and my navigational skills down here are pretty bloody awful, to be honest. It's a sort of a left-right section here to start with, isn't it? And then a sort of an uppy-down section. But it's so, at least to me, not evident where you're supposed to be going. Like up here, and then down underneath, and then up again, and then it goes over to the left here, doesn't it, I think? Under. Oh, we did get one save there. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so you can see the
The
ticking
swift
starting
turn
there.
churn
I have
makes
put
its
a
way
couple of
around
points in
several
swim.
points.
Oh, that's interesting. The Flight of Kings actually works underwater as well. Let's try the. Did it work? No, it may not perform the second wind underwater, but Flight of Kings you can. That's good to know. So strength helps with swim as well, doesn't it? And I had to put a few points in there, so I guess that served us reasonably
The
well.
glittering pile of
Actually, let's be
cinders
fair.
surrounded by agitated smoke.
I didn't take too many. I don't think I ran into too many of the traps there, did I? So that wasn't such a bad run, which is just as well because our evasion wouldn't have stood for it. And you can see we've still got 40 seconds on the vigor timer for if I make a Horlicks of this on the way out, which is very possible. Oh, almost. Okay, I don't think that was too bad. We kept to a minimum the number of saves we had to make, so pretty pleased with that. Just trying to regain another charge. No such luck. We're almost at the end now anyway, aren't we?
A hobgoblin curiously bangs an alarm as you approach the
I
arena.
think some people like you to wait here and not butcher the things straight away. Let them ring the bells so they can summon the appropriate quota of opponents to allow the quest to have the, is it onslaught, the maximum bonus for, or is it conquest or something? What's what do we? Well, we're on onslaught at the moment. I think it's conquest, isn't it? The max bonus, which I'm pretty sure we won't get here. But ask me if I'm bothered. I'm just delighted to be looking like we're gonna get through, if such is gonna be our fate. I think you can go on your merry way, Rana. We've done
You
with
hear
you now, haven't
Grogan the
we?
bugbear's
Long
growling
since.
voice.
Oh,
Welcome,
she can't be
warriors
unsummoned.
of the
All right. Well,
Stormfist, to the
at
arena
least you've seen me
of
say something
power.
positive about a hireling. It's taken
What
about
champion
10 years, but
survived the
it
trial
has
you
happened.
all won
I've
your
got
place
witnesses.
in the Horde?
We've
Now
got the improved
lead
uncanny now, by the way, for our rogue levels, and the extra few bits
new
of dodge are
recruits
helping
will
us
be harried
there
by
too.
Daggertooth, the swift and wily ranger of the Windlasher Knolls. They will be hammered by Gorn Gutchewer. He's not just crazy, he's a blood-guzzling champion of the dragon below. And they'll face the leaders of the Cloven Jaw and Arzak
I
Hawk
could
of
actually be
Upper.
almost unhittable. I could
Proud
trigger
and
the
fearless,
Hood of
armed
Unrest
with
and Uncanny
Oathwing.
Dodge.
Lord Jorgandal wants no
Go
weakling
on then,
in
let's
his
try it.
horde. Can these soft-looking traitors to Stormreach survive the arena of power? Today, the Storm's Fist Horde will welcome these new recruits. Let the battle begin.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, I wasn't too worried about the fighting side. It's all the other stuff in there that is the issue, the pathing through and what to do in each section. Having said that, I thought I did okay there. I'm not complaining at all about that, particularly the swim, which has been a nightmare for me in the past. I'm not saying we'd have got through there without the cushion of the evasion and the ticking heel thing, but I think we could have had a go there with what we did there. And for going up against the current, the fact you can use the Flight of Kings underwater. That's extremely helpful for those stages where you're just swimming and you're just stuck basically. I'll remember that. Okay, to the victors the spoils. How long did I actually... Oh god, I spent nearly half an hour in there, but some of it was talking, wasn't it? Cut myself a bit of slack. I think if I can complete that in 20 minutes, I think I've had a very good run. That maze at the start just really takes me quite a bit of time, and messing about with the hireling. But once I get through there, especially as in this case, if I've got evasion, I don't do too badly usually. Right, on that happy note, I think that'll be it for this one. What shall we do for the last one in Heroic? Will be 18, so something around 16. What about something in the lower quad? We could, yeah, we could try a couple of quests in the Shan lower quad. Is it the hand and the eyes, the thing that ends with the beholder, where that 13 bastard sword comes from, and the growing pains, that kind of stuff. That sounds like a plan. Okay, thanks very much as always for looking, and I will see you then. Take care.